Sandy Says Read. Welcome back to the channel. This is take 2. My computer just froze up on me. Apparently, I'm going to have to find a new way to film these things, you guys, because it's just not going the way it should. Okay, today we are going to do a review and discussion of Our Saving Grace by J.R. Bloodsteel. I'm making sure you don't have a glare on that, you guys. Our Saving Grace. This is a contemporary romance novel with hints of the paranormal, which is awesome. Okay, I'm going to read the back cover for you first, all right? Because this does a better job of summarizing than I would do. All right. Through trials and tribulations, life does not stop moving. Lieutenant Savannah Warner has learned this the hard way. Finding herself getting lost in her daily life, she knows it is time for a change. After making the choice to move out of the city, the chain of events that follow can only be considered as fate intervening. When she signs the contract on her new home, she's unaware of the fact she's signing up for an entirely new life. While still trying to deal with the past, the future is coming at her full force and showing no mercy. With her German Shepherd Ace by her side, Savannah's brooding landlord, Brady Beauregard, gives her a run for her money. She finds herself constantly stepping out of her comfort zone to accommodate for this new chapter in her life. How will fate play a role in all of this? Savannah and Brady will quickly learn that there's a far deeper meaning as to why their paths were destined to cross. Okay, so Savannah Warner is our main character, and this story is told from her point of view. Okay, so let me give you the specs. Our Saving Grace by J.R. Bloodsteel. It was published July 2022. Our editor is Deborah Allen. It's first person present tense. So you know me, that took a little bit for me to get into that because of first person present tense, but it works because we're seeing this story through Savannah's eyes. We're learning, we're feeling through Savannah. So we're trucking with her through these events as they happen to her. So that works. 433 pages in this volume. Oh, I should have looked up to see if it's available in Kindle. I will put that in the drop-down box below, if I remember. Okay, so we open with Savannah, Lieutenant Savannah Warner, and some of her fellow officers taking down the bad guy, Marcus Dawson. Oh, but Savannah gets injured in the process. Now, I like to give you guys a little snippet, read a little snippet so you guys get a flavor of the author's writing. So I'm going to do that out of this opening scene so that you guys can get a feel for Savannah. All right. I turn and head back to the main house. Marcus Dawson. I've been following his trail for nearly 3 months now, after the boys over in Tennessee lost him. When it became evident that this was now a case for the next state over, the files fell into my lap. I've seen a lot of things, but nothing quite as horrible as this case. It's been one big headache with one dead end after another. This is the biggest break we've had, and I intend for this to be the night when this monster is taken down for good. Dead or alive, I don't care anymore. Whatever it takes. If there's any more innocent blood spilt, I don't think I'll be able to come back from this case. Okay, so we see her motivation. She wants to get the bad guys, right? She does. In this opening scene, she gets that bad guy, but the bad guy shoots her because she jumps in front of one of her fellow officers to protect that officer. I mean, we are getting the picture of Savannah in that first opening scene. We see her. She's driven. She's motivated. She wants to get the bad guy. She wants to protect the innocent. She wants to protect her fellow officers with her life. And she nearly gives her life protecting that officer. She's shot. She's injured. She goes into that dark place, And here, I chuckle. Where is it? I can hear voices, feel the burning pain, hear the commotion going on around me, but I'm unable to react. Okay, she goes into the darkness, and then we dive into the rest of the story later. We go into the rest of the story later after she has healed somewhat. We have Savannah moving to another city, well, outside of the city. We have her moving outside of the city, taking up residence in this new house that she needs to repair, okay? Her landlord, Brady, and his brother, Austin, they are assisting her. Mostly Brady is assisting her in repairing this house. There is this awesome, wonderful allegory in the repairing of that house, in the fixer-upper nature of that house. Well, there's also a fixer-upper nature in Brady and what he has been through in his past. There's this fixer-upper nature in Savannah and what she has been through and what she has lost in her recent past. I mean, these two, Savannah and Brady, both have these inner turmoils that they're having to deal with as they have to deal with fixing up this house. And the allegory there is fantastic. It is spot on. The English major in me enjoyed that a lot. Anyway, I think that is very well done. It is a slow burn romance taking place there. It's not one of these like torrid bodice ripper stories, right? It's a slow burn. It's a mature, sort of adult, real world kind of realistic story that's being told through these 430 some odd pages, right? I mean, we see Brady and Savannah becoming friends, learning that they can trust another adult in their life, learning that they can trust a perhaps romantic partner, and then, a romantic partner. I mean, it blossoms into this relationship that works. Now, I mentioned there's sort of this paranormal sprinkling in this contemporary romance. I'm not going to give that away. I'm not going to tell you what's happening because it's more than just this little sprinkle of paranormal romance. There are some paranormal elements that pile up on top of each other. And as you see them come into the story, it's lovely. It's very nice. I like that a lot. Nice. I don't want to give it away because it's wonderful. All right. So what are my notes that I had for you here? Oh yeah. This story gives you a realistic look at law enforcement. I mean, in today's world, and I know I'm going to get flamed for this. In today's world, there are so many divisive comments out there online, in the news media about law enforcement, right? I mean, you have one side or the other. People tend to get quite up in arms about it, right? But this book gives you a very realistic look at good guys in the police departments. It also gives you a look at a sheriff who's just burned out. A sheriff who, he seems like he's a pretty nice guy. He's down to earth, but he's like, you know what, little lady, I'm kind of tired, and I think that your problems aren't all that big of a deal. And he looks at Savannah like, okay, this person over here who's stalking you looks like he's left town, so we're not going to worry about it anymore. And he kind of gives up on Savannah's case at one point in the story. And Savannah's like, oh no, no, that's not the right response. And she has the right message to give to the reader, to give to people who need to be empowered and an advocate for themselves. Just because a law enforcement official is feeling burnout doesn't mean you let a case go. I mean, it was very well. I thought it was very well done. The way J.R. Bloodsteel handled Savannah being a go-get-em, empowered, forceful, stand-up law enforcement officer was awesome. And the way J.R. Bloodsteel handled that sheriff who was just burnt out, just tired, just not living up to the role he was supposed to have in the community was also well done. And she didn't just leave that sheriff hanging. She didn't just throw him to the wolves. The author, I mean, he didn't get like this full redemptive arc, but he did get... I did come away from it feeling like, okay, he learned his lesson. And I liked that too. I mean, she didn't just trounce all over law enforcement. She portrayed it in a realistic light. And I was proud of that. I enjoyed that very much. Okay, so let's see. We had a realistic stalker dude in here as well. And it was woven into the storyline wonderfully, the way it was supposed to be. The stalker dude who is stalking Savannah, there's a very real reason why there is a fellow in this small town stalking her. There's a very real reason why, and it comes into play. And it also plays into a little hint of that paranormal stuff that happens. I mean, it's just so well done. You can tell that J.R. Bloodsteel plotted this out and knew exactly where she was putting all the story beats. She knew exactly where things were going to happen. It's very nice. Okay, so then, let's see, my last point for you guys, the hint of the paranormal and supernatural that guides us. There is that hint in there of, like, a guardian angel that's watching over, that's helping bring the right element to your life when you need it. That hint is in there, and I liked that. Nicely done. Our saving grace. Oh yeah, I did have one more spot that I was going to read something for you, because I like to give you guys the flavor of the author's writing. So I had another part marked out in here. Okay, so obviously this is Savannah talking because it's in her point of view. We have her. Where is she? Where are we in the story here? She's thinking about. I don't want to give away names and stuff because I don't want to give away too much. But we have her saying, like air being sucked out of my lungs, flashbacks play through my mind like a raging storm, instantly giving me a headache. Dear God, I was there. Oh, okay. She's remembering that she was the first responder at someone's death. Okay. And it's someone important. Like air being sucked out of my lungs, flashbacks play through my mind like a raging storm, instantly giving me a headache. Dear God, I was there. Tears flood my eyes as I try to stand, my legs shaking. I can hardly walk as I stumble inside. Coming into the living room, I try to find the same photo I saw yesterday. I need to see it. Quietly but frantically, I look through anything that could be holding it. I go into his office and immediately see a photo on his desk of the two of them together. Grasping it, I turn on the small desktop lamp and stare at the photo, my heart flipping down into my stomach as all my senses stop. Shaking, I set the frame back on the desk and sprint out, with nothing but panic raging through my veins. No, this can't be happening. This just can't be happening. There's already so much going on. Why does this have to happen? I drag my fingers through my hair as I walk back into the kitchen. I sit down after getting a glass of water. Damn it, Jason, why? Resting my elbows down on the counter and my head in my hands, I sit in silence, practically in the dark, trying to figure out how I'm going to tell Brady. This can't be real. This just can't be real. That night flashes through my mind like a slideshow. I remember everything. I pray I'm still dreaming, but I know I'm not. It's true. Squeezing my eyes closed, I try to calm myself, which is next to impossible. I don't want to be here right now. I love being here with him, but right now I feel like I'm walking on thin ice. How am I going to tell him? How am I even going to word it? When am I going to tell him? I silently cry as I sit dormant, frozen in place. I was there. I was there when she died. I was the first one on the scene. There's like freaky stuff happening, and paranormal things are coming into play, and fate is like jumping into the story there. So nice. It's so nicely done. There you go. It's a great story. So I can totally recommend the story of Our Saving Grace by J.R. Bloodsteel for all the realistic contemporary romance, and yet that hint of the paranormal thrown in there too, interwoven into the story too. Nice. That's it, you guys. Thumbs up. Thumbs up for awesome real world romances. There you go. Yeah. And hey, hit the notification bell icon so that you're notified each time I do these random things. Thanks so much for tuning in.